male celibate clergy is going the way of the dinosaurs. You know what happened to those dinosaurs. In the midst of this crisis of religious women, the nuns received word not long ago that they will be investigated by the Vatican. USA Today, Associated Press, reported last year, the year before, that over 5,000 Catholic priests sexually abused over 12,000 children in the United States alone. That crisis, of course, we read about in Ireland today and other countries. The scandal involved, the crimes involved. Those articles also report that not one of those priests has been excommunicated. And the many bishops who were aware of these crimes of their fellow priests were transferred to other dioceses. They looked the other way, so many of them. And these bishops involved in these cover-ups and their crimes, they were not excommunicated. But yet women who are called by God to serve our church as priests and those who attend their ordinations are excommunicated. It's hard to even imagine what they're thinking here. It's such a scandal. It angers so many of us. And that investigation of our religious women by the Vatican is angering so many of our nuns and so many of us. And all I hear in my travels, talking with especially nuns, what I hear is that rather than the Vatican investigating them, we should be sending our nuns over to the Vatican to investigate our churches. Sexism without talking about patriarchy, without talking about power and abuse of power. What I've learned in my research and the many books that have been given to me by women in the women's ordination movement who are at the vanguard, what I discover, as they long ago have discovered, is that there's this issue of patriarchy. Men, way back, somehow claim this divine right to interpret the scriptures. They become the owners of the church. They are the bosses. And what we realize, of course, with Vatican II and since then is that no, it doesn't work that way. We are the church. We are the church. And we will not accept this abuse of power. I want to say, I didn't like bullies in Latin America. No one likes a bully. They abuse their power. They beat up on people. They're cruel. And I don't like this bullying that I see coming from our church leaders here in the U.S. and there in Rome. And their behavior, this abuse of power, is unacceptable. All I can think of is that they all should take a long retreat, a silent retreat, and just bring just one passage from the scriptures. The words of the prophet Micah. You've all heard of Micah, who was asked, what are we to do? How are to act justly. We are to love tenderly. And we are to walk humbly with our God. And just take those three short sentences there, those few words, about justice, about love, and about humility. Give them to our church leaders here in Florida, wherever we are, our bishops, our fellow priests, our cardinals, here and in Rome. Think about this. You are not being just. You are not loving. You are not being humble. How are you living out this in your lives? And this is where the scandal comes in. This is at the very heart of this crisis in our church. This abuse of power. Where there is supposed to be love, there is this fear. This fear in our church. Fellow priest, who say to me, I believe that women should be ordained, but I am afraid to speak out on this issue. Catholic teachers I meet wherever I go are afraid, women, men, are afraid to even come to the talks like we have here today. They might be seen, I go to talks on women's ordination, as in Boston recently. There's a section in the back, no photographs allowed. What is going on here? Because there are many in our church who are afraid someone may take a photo of them and send it to the bishop, and they will lose their job. What is going on here? Fellow priests tell me, yes, I support the ordination. We have a grave injustice here, but I'm afraid if I go public, I will lose my pension. I will be exiled. I will not get the support that you are getting from Marino. They are going to throw me, my order will throw me to the lions. Wow. I always thought that this man Jesus